Hello again everyone, welcome back to the Chassis Variant Series, myself, Critical Rocket, and here we are, back with the Cougar A. Now I say back with the Cougar A because there was an original Cougar A video that was on the channel, and it was pointed out that the locations for the weapons were incorrect, and that I'd actually muddled them up with the Adder A. And this is true. I had the energy hardpoints in the torsos, and I had the missiles in the arms. It's actually supposed to be the way around. The energy are in the arms, and the missiles are in the side torsos for the Cougar A. So this is the redo. The original video will have been deleted by the time this has gone live. And yeah, the Cougar A within background is essentially a variant that is to evoke the Adder A for those Jade Falcon pilots who may have been used to piloting it. And yeah, it's basically a good solid fire support platform. Carries about 4 ton of LRM ammunition, which is more than enough for most protracted fights, and it has a small pulse in the head and 2 ER mediums, 1 in each arm. And that gives it some capability of fighting back should it run out of ammunition and need to extricate itself from the combat zone. So yeah, that's pretty much the Cougar. There's sadly not much write-up on variants of a lot of battle mechs, not just Clan 1s, but Innisphere 1s, so there's also a bit about that. And you can hear Hebe in the background. She's not happy. But there was a request by Alstego Electric to have the cat in the background at some point. So Hebe's there. Sutty will no doubt join in a minute. So yeah, this video is one of those rare things that I've recorded, and I don't know whether to add a suffix to this for the title, but this is a video that shows what happens when the domino effect kicks in. And essentially, what I mean by that is when Death Ball isn't in effect. We all know it. If you play MechWarrior Online regularly enough on either pub group or group queue or on even faction play, if you don't ball up in MechWarrior Online, you diminish your firepower. And diminished firepower means you're not pumping out as much DPS, the DPS doesn't kill targets quick enough, and one team will eventually suffer and the other doesn't. Now, rare occasions, a couple of mechs going wide, or trying the flanking maneuver, or catching a slow-moving mech out can happen. But let's face it, majority of the time, you're looking at targets as a group, relatively close to each other, and everyone can wheel and target. Here, we have an example where the enemy team have split. 2 of their team have gone out into a really bad spot. They've gone out into a location where they've got virtually no cover, they're under UAVs, so they can't hide, and they're going to get completely torn apart, which is what's happened there. 2 other members of their team have now split, so now they're down an entire lance. And those 2 mechs are now too far away from their team to get any kind of support, because the rest of their team isn't going to back them up. And so the dominoes have fallen already. And that's one of my problems with MWO, is when you end up in matches like this, there's no comeback. You know, once you're down a deficit of even 2 mechs, the match is pretty much already done. I've been in matches on very rare occasions where a comeback has occurred, but if we're looking at probabilities here and percentages, when this happens, once the first couple of kills happen, the match is already done. And that's a real shame, because my Cougar B video, we have a scenario of a 7-12 fight where I was on the losing team, but that was fun, because it felt like a fight. It could have gone either way. And that's what you want from MechWarrior Online. You want those close matches. You want it to feel like everybody was contributing, that, you know, there's a kill and it's back and forth, and it's not just this thing where you end up in this horrible stomp. And that's what this match is. It's a 12-0 stomp. Sorry for spoilers, but that's what this quickly turns into. And it's one of the big problems, I think, with MechWarrior Online is the stomping. I would imagine it has played its part in pushing a lot of people away from the game, because there's no real reward for being stomped repeatedly. And I've read plenty of times people on the forums that they just have the worst luck. They'll have matches again and again and again where they don't get any wins. They can have the worst I read. I think there was someone posted on the forums once that they had something like a 20 loss streak. You don't want that. That's not going to keep you playing the game, and it's certainly not going to get you to pay into the game. Games like, I've been playing a lot of War Thunder recently, and the comparison there is, if I lose, for one, in matches in War Thunder, I can spawn multiple times. I'm not stuck with the one mech. In that essence, I've got multiple planes or tanks or ships. So, if I have a bad run in one vehicle, I've got the chance of having a better run in another vehicle. And it's all down to your performance keeps you going. And once you're out, you can go straight into another match, and you can use those same vehicles again. In MechWarrior, unfortunately, the systems of the mechanics is your mech is locked. So if you have a really bad run in the mech you want to play, you're then stuck either waiting for the match to end, so you're a spectator, or you're just sat in the mech lab waiting for the mech to reappear to play. And that's unfortunately what I think 12-0 losses do, is it just causes issues where players are just... they just don't have it in them to play it anymore once that happens. It's a real shame, and that's what a 12-0 loss is. I imagine everybody on the other team here probably got a bit deflated. A 12-0 loss, they probably got a bit frustrated, they probably got annoyed, blaming each other either on the comms, in the chat, or, you know, at least saying something to the screen to sort of vent a little. And it's understandable. We don't want that in games. We want better matchmaking. We want more matches where it's balanced. You know, where you can have a good fight, you can feel like you came out of it and everyone contributed something. But unfortunately, this is an example of what can happen. When you know, players try to do something different, they try to break off from that ball, and it doesn't work because really the game is geared toward one type of play: ball up, kill everything in just a mess of lasers and ballistics and missile fire, and that's it. There's no kind of nuance. It's just the same thing. Now there's an edit coming up because the last mech was a light with stealth, and it was just running around for like a good minute or two. So he finally got caught and he got into the fight, and yeah, that was it. And that's how it ended. But yeah, it's one of those rare things, one of those matches that I like to talk about when it happens, when I catch it on camera, those moments. So yeah, it's a dirty match. I never like 12-0 wins, and 12-0 losses are just as bad. So, oh well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.